So I think price is going to continue higher until we come into this level. So for those that are already buying from here, if you get a selling opportunity from here, you could decide to sell. All right. Most likely our target will be this 2,483. So welcome back, guys. You can see how price continued higher until we came into that zone, and then we sold off from there. So if you are taking advantage of this on the 15 minutes time frame, and let's say you go for 2-to-1s like me, this on Monday is where you would have sold gold. Of course, gold ranged almost throughout last week, right? It's actually ranged throughout last week, but at least you would have gotten your 2-to-1 if you actually go with 2-to-1s like me around here. And if we go back to the 4-hour time frame, you will notice that price actually on the higher time frame ranged moved sideways, right? So going into next week, I think my analysis still remains the same as last week. So I'd actually wait for price to actually break out of this zone so that we can continue higher, because this is a new month, right? So we actually close with a bullish candlestick pattern on the monthly time frame. Then last week we closed with a bearish engulfing candle. I know some people want to argue that, but whatever it is, this candlestick represents a huge bearish move to the downside. So I'll be expecting price to actually go for a bearish pullback before probably we continue our bullish move, maybe sometimes within the new month. All right, so I'll back to the 4-hour time frame, guys. So if price continues lower, then I'll wait for price, just like last week. I'll wait for price to, you have to be patient, guys, except if you're already selling from here, which is fine and good, but I'll wait for price to actually break below here, just like I did last week. Break below 2,473.644. Then our bearish target will be 2,431.644. All right. And if price continues higher, then I'll wait for price to just break out of this 2,530.952. Come back for a retest, go to the 15 minutes time frame as usual. Go for a quick 2-to-1 or 3-to-1, depending on your preference. All right. So that is that on gold. The next on my list is DXY. We can see how price is already breaking out of that 101.657 area. So what I would like to see is for price to just continue trading upward for a little bit. All right. Should continue trading upward for a little bit, then come back for the hard bounce, then want to catch it at the pullback. Our bullish target will be 102.277. Meanwhile, let's see how we close for the month, since this is a new month. Price has been ranging for quite some time now, over a year right now, from this point, which is around January 2023 till this particular month right here. But one thing we've discovered is price has been struggling to break and close. A monthly candle is struggling to break and close below this 101.210 area. Yes, some weeks have gone through it, but no candlestick closed. That means there's something interesting about that area. So now we may just continue going bullish from here, but you know, we just have to take it 1 week at a time. 1 week at a time. Now on the weekly time frame, we can see the solid bullish price action that will close with. I was actually expecting price to come into this 99.896 area before we take off, but it is what it is. Price is already pointing upward. If we go to the daily time frame, you can see we just created a mini new higher high around here, but it's not confirmed yet. And that is why on the 4-hour time frame, I say we should still be patient enough for price to actually break out properly, come back for a pullback. Then our bullish target will be 102.277, just a short move to the upside. And if price is to continue to the downside, then guys, just wait for price to break and close below 101.261. All right, you know I like to give bullish and bearish scenarios always. So wait for price to break out of this, then catch it on the pullback on the 15 minutes time frame. Then your target should be around here. All right, 100.519. So those are my bullish and bearish scenarios on DXY. The next on my list is EURUSD. But if you are not in this trade already, so how do you take advantage of this? So I'm going to give a bullish and bearish scenario on this. So the first pullback area will be here. If you are not in this trade already, then this is where I'll most likely be expecting a pullback to come into before we take off. So welcome back, guys. You can see that on the 4-hour time frame, it doesn't look much because price was trading around here last week when I made last week's video. So I anticipated this pullback before takeoff. Actually, I was thinking price was going to jump all the way up to this point here, but that didn't happen. It is what it is. But if you are taking advantage of this on the 15 minutes time frame, like I always recommend, and let's say you're going for a 2-to-1 just like me, you already know that I like 2-to-1s a lot, right? So this was the moment you would have gotten into the trade. I don't know how you would have gotten in, right? And if you had gotten in and put your stop loss where I asked you to put your stop loss, you would have at least price traveled for up to 3-to-1, all right, depending on where you got in from, even up to 5-to-1. It all depends on where you got in from, all right. At least you would have gotten 2-to-1, all right. You would have gotten 2-to-1, which is still a decent move. So even if you're holding out for more, I believe you must have broken even, and this price probably stopped you at break even. But if it's for somebody like me that go for 2-to-1, I would have taken my profits before this pullback. All right. So even though price didn't make it to our overall target, at least money was made. I even gave a plan B in last week's video on the 4-hour time frame. I gave a plan B. Let's quickly look at that. But if that fails and price decides to continue going lower, so what we are going to do is to wait for price to break below 1.11067 area. Then we'll catch it on the pullback. Then it's going to be a short sell into where we are coming from, which is 1.10476. All right. So welcome back, guys. You can see how price came down here, broke below here on the 15 minutes time frame, went for a pullback. All right. Let me put a line there so that when we go back to the 15 minutes time frame, you'll be able to see it properly. Let's go back to the 15 minutes time frame. So you can see price actually did break below there, went back for a pullback, retested that zone, and just check out how much you would have made if you took advantage of that trade. All right, because I told you to put your stop loss above here on the plan B, and our target was around here. If you remember, you can go visit last week's video. So you see how you would have made money from the bullish and the bearish scenarios. Pretty much straightforward. That's why I like to have both bullish and bearish scenarios. All right, so going into next week, I'll go back to the 4-hour time frame. What should we be expecting on DXY? Well, so if DXY breaks below this 1.10476 area, all right, if it can break below it, I'd like to see price go back for a pullback. All right, stop loss above. My take profits will just be a short bearish move to the downside here. All right, my target with my bearish target is 1.09762. And for bullish scenario, I'll be patient enough for price to come and break above this zone here, which is 1.11100. So I'd like to see price break above it. Then I want to catch it on the pullback. My stop loss will be below. Then my take profit will be this obvious zone around here, which is 1.11986. So those are my bullish and bearish scenarios on Euro USD. The next on my list is GBP USD. I would like to probably see price pull back into this area, which is 1.31200. So welcome back, guys. You can see how price has pulled back into the zone. Now, my initial what I would have loved to see last week was for price to come into that zone quickly and take off. But for the fact that that was where we closed for last week, we may see more bearish price action before we go bullish again. All right. So I think I would like to see price come into this area here. Meanwhile, let me okay, let me leave all of these zones. Let me just leave it because I need them for emphasis sake. All right, so if price continues lower, hopefully price is going to come into 1.29856 before we take off again. Remember, we are in a bullish trend right now, so even if we continue bearish, it will just be a mere pullback. All right, if I go to the daily time frame, so now on the daily time frame, meanwhile, let me delete this our previous target. All right, so if price continues lower, we may see price come into a deeper retracement into this area before we now take off and continue the bullish move. All right, but I would like to give two possible scenarios here. All right, let me see how we're going to take advantage of this next week. All right, so what's going to happen? Let's go to the 4-hour time frame. All right. So going into next week, guys, what I would like to see for the bearish, if price is to continue bearish, is to see price come into this target, which is 1.29856. All right, just like I did on the higher time frame. And for bullish scenario, guys, you just have to be patient. You have to be patient for price to take out 1.32377. All right, wait for price to take it out, create a new higher high, catch it on the pullback, put your stop loss below, and your target should be all the way up here, which is 1.34021. All right, that is my bullish target. So these are my bullish and bearish scenarios. All right, now next on my list is EURJPY.